yeah, definitely. Like we want comments. So like we'll answer questions. The neat thing about well, there was an idea that you had, and it's probably, been adapted in other systems that let's say there's just 10 spells. There's a
Mm.
fire spell. So what's a fire spell? Well, it starts out as like you can like use light, maybe you like light your finger on fire, and then it turns into firebolt, and then, or I'm sorry, control flames. Then it turns into firebolt. Then it turns into uh, fireball. So and then that increasingly gets bigger at higher levels, and you can cast it at any level below that if you as your level increases. That's a really really interesting system. I really like that idea.
And I wish I knew. I've read a million systems in 2 years, so I wish I could give credit where credit's due. I'm not sure where I first heard that idea, but like, yeah, when I make my fantasy heartbreaker, it's going to be
Yeah,
like a spell that levels up, that tiers up. You cast it with the first slot, it does one thing, and then your seventh level spell slot, it's the same spell, just like you're putting more mana, chutzpah juice into it.
mm,
And that's, yeah. So Fire Bolt and Meteor Swarm are the same spell, just in the hands of a more powerful wizard.
right, right. And I think that sort of leveling gives you, I mean, it allows for character narrative, right? It
Yes.
allows for the evolution of the character, and it gives uh someone impetus to do that, right? So the it would also, I think, encourage someone to stay on one track instead of multi-classing and try to game the game, right? In order to acquire like certain types of spells, you're rewarded by staying in a certain, like you're a wizard evoker, like you're rewarded for staying in that path because you get these more powerful evoker spells.
Yeah, and then when there are fewer spells in the game structure, then you are learning fewer spells, right? So you're not gonna the wizard spell book is gonna be fewer pages essentially,
Right,
because like you know three spells, but like those three spells are actually 12 spells potentially. So like, and from the design side of things, it like fire is always the example because that's the darling of D&D and all of the systems that have come after. But like that from the design side, that forces the game maker to figure out, all right, you got control water, like what's the seven stages of the water spell, the acid spell, the lightning spell, whatever. Every school of magic, every damage type, what does mending look like at seventh level, right?
right.
Healing spells. Uh, so yeah, I just like I don't know, we're getting into abstract territory of like
Sure,
the
sure.
game I would make, but yeah, I really like that concept.